Welcome, everybody, yet another episode of the Wrestling vs. the World podcast. If you're all enjoying your day, sweet. If not, what the hell ever. So, this was a subject. Because, I had this idea in mind just because I remember I was on that app Threads. For those who don't know, it's almost like Twitter, but kind of linked to Instagram in a way. I was going through there months back, and I remember I was having a small chat with Lance Storm. Because he, in a comment reply, revealed that he did not know that WWE actually turned Eugene heel at one point. So, I decided I wanted to finally go back and look over that entire heel run, which was shorter than people probably anticipated, and yeah, it was pretty bad. So, let me start off where it began. November 6, 2006 episode of Raw, the night after Cyber Sunday. Eric Bischoff is the one-night-only general manager of Raw, and he decides he's going to book the Spirit Squad versus Eugene and Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a tag match, because Eugene and Jim Duggan had been tagging together for a few months by this point. The stipulation being that the losing team must split up forever. So, okay. We get the tag match, and it's Johnny and Kenny of the Spirit Squad against Eugene and Jim Duggan. And because of a distraction by Nikki, aka the future Dolph Ziggler, Johnny rolls up Jim Duggan to prevent that 3-point stance clothesline that Duggan does. So rolls him up with the tights and gets the win. So Spirit Squad wins. Eugene and Jim Duggan have to split up. They hug after the match, and then post-match was when Eugene attacks Hacksaw Jim Duggan, beats him up with a 2x4. He's going crazy. And this kind of felt pointless because 3 weeks later we would see the end of the Spirit Squad in the WWE anyway. So now Eugene is a heel because he just can't accept the fact that, I can't team with my friend no more. So let's see what they do with him. The following week, I can safely say here, this should have been the point where they realized that they jumped the shark. I mean, there was no real shark to jump really much at this point, but this was a point where they should have shown that they weren't going to take this character seriously, because November 13, 2006 episode of Raw, the whole theme was that DX had a $10,000 bounty on their head. Whoever, on behalf of Jonathan Coachman, can get rid of DX from the building gets $10,000, and Eugene tried to claim the bounty. The DX was in the locker room, and Triple H is like, okay, you want the bounty? Here you go, and hands him a roll of paper towels. It's a quicker picker-upper. But then Eugene, he's trying to be like, no, wait a minute, I want the money, but eventually when he runs into the locker room after the door's held open, he just crashes into DX's table full of food and drinks and makes a mess. Honestly, this should have showed that they had no confidence or direction with this character. Just from that, they made him look like a goof. Even more than a babyface. So now, the next moment, because I was looking through episodes of Raw and Heat during all this, but he didn't have another appearance for another 2 weeks. November 27, 2006, he has a match against Jim Duggan. The match, Eugene, he's just trying to be kind of weary, waving to the fans a little bit, kind of talking a little bit to them, and trying to hide behind the referee. But he beats Jim Duggan in less than 2 minutes, because he barely gets any offense on Duggan. He kind of hits him into the ring post head first in another move, and then a swing neckbreaker, and then within a minute 53, he beats Duggan. Post-match, this really shows how bad the taste is, because to try to get heat on Eugene, he's telling people he doesn't want them to mock him or laugh at him or make fun of him, because, he's special. Don't mock me, I'm special. I'm Eugene, They really thought this was going to work to take a character with an unspecified special, disability or, of sorts. It was never clarified what made him special in the first place. But he used that as a reason to try to get healed, being don't boo me, don't laugh at me, I'm special. To try to use that to fuel the boos. There was no way to spin this in a positive direction for the character. So now, the next week doesn't get any better. December 4, 2006. Sean Morley. I'm not going to refer to him by his wrestling name because I have no respect for that guy because of his stances and everything on social media. He tries to host a kiss cam between two women, so we're getting HLA 4 years after Eric Bischoff did it. And two women are kissing and everything. Woohoo! Then out comes Eugene's like, I want to kiss. But neither woman wants to kiss him. So he tries to take the lighter-haired woman to be like, I want to kiss. So he's trying to force himself on the woman. Morley gets in the way and be like, no, back away. And then Eugene attacks him from behind with the microphone, beats him up, and then drops him with the DDT. And again, he's just trying to be like, I'm special! Screaming, acting like a madman. Like, there was no way they were going to get the crowd to take this whole thing seriously and buy him as a credible heel. Okay? Now, we wouldn't see his next match until what was presented as December 15, 2006 episode of Heat, but it was shown 2 days later in the UK, so December 17, but I'm going to go based on the air dates because these were... Here in America, this was on WWE.com from this point on, but December 15, he has a match with Sean Morley, and he beats him with a roll-up because Morley's trying to do that short arm, like, arm wringer into, like, a knee to the gut while having the opponent bounce off the ropes. But somehow I think he, like, got hit with the right hand, like, you couldn't see the camera angle real well, and then Eugene pins him by rolling him up and using the ropes as leverage. So he's doing the cheating thing, and he was also doing the whole thing of screaming at the fans, saying, I'm special, don't boo me, and then same thing after the match. Like, no. Now, the next match, December 18, 2006 episode of Raw, there's a WWE number 1 contendership Battle Royal. Winner gets the title shot. Eugene is, like, you couldn't see him for most of the match, but finally you see him later on in the later part. He's beating up Shawn Michaels to try to make him, like, seem credible. Oh, he's going against one of the best guys you got there. But then Triple H is like, hey, tap him on the shoulder, like, hey, look at the fans down there in the hard camera side of, like, the arena and the crowd, or in the hard camera. Wave to them, Eugene. He's like, oh, hey, hi, and then DX throws him out. Like, that's also another way where you guys can't take the character seriously if he's getting that fooled that fast. And you got the babyfaces essentially taking advantage of the fact that, oh, he doesn't know better. So it's like they made him look like a goof again. Now, we wouldn't see Eugene again for like the next couple episodes of Raw and everything, or Heat, because Raw, you had, like, the next week was Tribute to the Troops. The next week was the beginning of 2007. There was absolutely nothing of Eugene I could find. And then you get the January 5th, 2007 episode of Heat on WWE.com, January 7th in the UK. He's facing Sean Morley again. Morley, at the end, he's on the apron, he tries a sunset flip, but Eugene sits through the move and grabs the ropes for leverage again through the pin to beat Morley again. So this whole short-lived feud has finally come to an end on a B show that nobody was probably really paying attention to, because again, it was online back when the internet wasn't really the best compared to now. So it's like nobody paid attention to it. And you want to know how they ended the heel run? 2 things after this. January 8th, 2007 episode of Raw, the night after New Year's Revolution. The main event for that Raw was John Cena versus the Great Khali, and right before then, Eugene is talking to some backstage guy, and he's hyping up saying, oh, John Cena, he pinned Umaga last night for the first time ever. Nobody's ever done that, and John Cena, he's my favorite. And then he turns around and realizes all the Great Khali's there, and he decides to be like, oh, I'm not messing with this guy, and walks away in fear. Because, I mean, a heel is not going to say that a babyface WWE champion is their favorite. So that was essentially a way where they quietly dropped the heel thing, being like, oh, Eugene's a good guy now, okay? And the next thing they did to solidify this, I had to look on YouTube for this match, because unfortunately the episode of Heat that I got in my hard drive is, like, messed up, like, in terms of, like, having the full show, but I found the match on YouTube. January 19, 2007 episode of Heat, so the 21st in the UK. He's having a match against Viscera. Okay? Eugene comes out and they give him the hairdryer sound effect treatment during his entrance. If you've seen SmackDown, you know what that is. Where they friggin' do that and make it sound like they're cheering and everything to emphasize the fact that, hey, Eugene's a good guy now. Because he's going out and he's got his old mannerisms. He's happy. He's waving to the crowds, hi, and touching hands with the fans at ringside and all that stuff. And even during the match, even though he lost to Viscera later, he gets in the ring and he's wearing, like, Viscera's robe that he wore when he was the world's biggest love machine. It was, like, making mocking gestures like, yeah, woo, woo, woo. So kind of like a mixture between Viscera and Ric Flair of sorts, but thankfully he's wearing clothes underneath the robe. But that was how they ended the heel run. So yeah, this was so poorly thought out. Like, you take a character who's presented as being, like, special needs, essentially, with no specification on what it is. They don't say if he's got, like, ADHD or ADD. if I don't know what else to really describe based on the presentation, but they never clarified what Eugene's special description is. And they turn him heel, and they try to be the whole thing like where he uses that as a way to get heat, like being like, "Oh, don't boo me, I'm special," to try to get people to hate him more. Because the only thing he tried to do to prove he's a heel is by doing some cheating tactics and screaming, "Ah, I'm crazy, ah!" Like, they did not think this through or really do anything to get this character to get taken seriously as a heel. Because, like I said, you look at this stuff, like, he tried to claim the bounty on DX. They didn't take him seriously. He kept closing the door in his face when he tried to attack them and everything, and then he runs into the table covered in food. And then they friggin' make him look like a fool in the Battle Royal, like, just a month later. Like, I don't know what they were smoking when they turned Eugene heel, but they planned this out so poorly. And I don't blame Lance Storm, like he said on Threads, that he didn't know that Eugene turned heel, because it's like, yeah, you blinked and you missed it. And there were some weeks where Eugene wasn't even there for them to try to emphasize the fact that he's a bad guy now and to try to get it to work. Because again, this just fell flat on his face. I mean, harder than Shockmaster, of course. But anyway, let me know in the comments section below, do any of you remember this weird heel run by Eugene, and what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this bizarre episode of the podcast, folks, please remember, leave a like, subscribe with the bell turned on, you're listening here on YouTube. Comment what you thought below, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for listening, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody. Oh, this was rough.